What's going on, YouTube? Legend here once again. This time I'm back at you again with another Genshin Impact video. Honestly, I figured I want to work Genshin Impact into my regular cycle of videos a little bit, because honestly I really love this game and I really want to talk about it with you guys. So even though it doesn't have a lot to do with a lot of other stuff, I feel like from this point forward, when I want to make a Genshin Impact video, you can do that. And if you like to see Genshin Impact videos, then definitely subscribe to the channel, because I will be uploading more. So what I want to talk about today, honestly, when it comes to Genshin Impact, is a new character, Kazuha, and how he is a perfect fit for and a support for Ayaka, the upcoming 5-star in the following patch, 1.7 or 2.0, whichever you want to call it. When they officially announce it, we'll see. But yeah, I think that he's going to be great for Ayaka at C0. You don't need to go see Tomb. I think you should just grab one copy and call it a day. If you have enough primo gems, or if you spend a little bit on the game, I definitely think it'll be worth your while to have both of them on your team. Especially if you're not getting constellations for Ayaka. I want to just break it down to 5 reasons, right? Just condense it to 5 reasons of why I think that is so, right? Now, start off, reason number 1, all right? The most obvious one, actually, is that he's an Nemo character, right? And with the Nemo characters, they're really good when paired with elemental DPSs. Obviously, because of Viridescent Veneer set, that shreds 40% resistance to whatever element that it swirls, right? Now, obviously, we know Ayaka is going to be constantly doing cryo, so shredding that cryo defense is going to be a pretty big helper when it comes to her output, her DPS output. So I think that that's going to be an obvious one too. And also another thing with Nemo characters is that they tend to have a trend to constantly supply a lot of energy recharge, right? Now, for those of you who don't know, it is said that Ayaka is going, I mean, this can change, but it is said that Ayaka is going to have a pretty high energy cost for her ult, but her ult is going to hit like a fucking truck. It's going to hit like a truck, kind of like similar to Eula's high hitting ult, right? So you're going to want some energy recharge on that. But also, this is going to bring me to my next thing right here, because when you have somebody that needs a lot of energy recharge, you typically want to have a battery for them. And who's going to be the best battery for Ayaka? Diona, right? Now, Diona's going to be a great battery for her, but one thing about Diona is that when you have Diona C6, right, Diona buffs up elemental mastery by 200, right? Now, for Ayaka, who typically wants to do freeze comps, that isn't going to help her much, so that ability goes to the wayside. But you know who does use elemental mastery? Kazuha, right? Kazuha is going to take that elemental mastery, right, and he's going to use that to buff Ayaka also, right? All you have to do is just swirl while you're in Diona's little field there, or cast his ult when you're in Diona's field, and you're applying cryo to everybody, and you're doing it with a higher elemental mastery, so you're giving more of an elemental damage buff, right? So now that makes the EM that Diona gives useful on a team with Ayaka, right there. So right now we have 3 teammates ready to go, right? But this also brings me to our 3rd reason too, which is the elemental buff that Kazuha does bring to Ayaka, right? Because Ayaka is going to have some good multipliers and everything like that, but she's not going to be able to compete with anybody unless she has some good buffs with her, right? And boosting her cryo damage through Kazuha is going to help out quite a bit. Because when you have somebody like Sucrose, who everybody's saying, oh yeah, Sucrose does this, Sucrose does that. Sucrose buffs elemental mastery, right? But as I said earlier, elemental mastery is on Ayaka isn't going to help if you're doing a freeze comp with her, which you're going to do, which most people are going to do when she does come out. Or at least that's what I think from this at this time, you know, because she applies cryo way too fast to be able to do melt comps where elemental mastery is going to be advantageous. So Sucrose isn't going to do too well. Venti is actually going to do very well. So there's that too. But I think Kazuha is going to be a little bit better because he's going to not only crowd control, but he's going to buff. I'll get back to the crowd control in a little bit. But yeah, he's going to buff Ayaka up, and she's going to be doing bigger numbers on her ult, her E, and her auto and normal attacks and charge attacks. So right there, right there, you see again that he is that he seems to be made for it. And even his passives, which brings me to reason 4. Right, reason 4 is his passive. His passive reduces stamina consumption by 20% when sprinting. Now, so as you know, Ayaka is going to sprint a lot, not just when it comes to exploration, but when it comes to battle too, because in order for her to deal cryo damage, she needs to sprint in order to be able to do cryo attacks. So she's going to be using a lot of stamina, sprinting, and charge attacking, because she's going to be charge attacking a lot. So if you can reduce that stamina consumption, well, she's going to be quite the beast, you know. And Kazuha is going to help her do that by reducing stamina consumption, right? It's almost like they did that on purpose, right? Because now you get a C0 Kazuha. You can get C2 if you want, if you can afford that, but a C0 Kazuha is going to do just fine when it comes to that, because you know you don't need constellations for that passive right off the bat. So level 1 Kazuha is going to be able to, well, not level 1, it's an ascension stat. So whichever level he gets ascension at is going to be able to do that, right? So there you go. There's reason number 4. And now for my final reason, right, is a very simple one also, which I mentioned a little bit earlier, is crowd control, right? Now, Ayaka is going to sprint around quite a bit trying to get from enemy to enemy, but it's going to be pretty good if all the enemies are in one place and she's able to just apply crowd to all these different people. Her E has quite a good radius, and her ult, there's quite a lot of damage, and it's better for her ult to be able to get multiple enemies within it to deal most damage. And Kazuha does a good job at doing that crowd control. Now, he's not as good as Venti when it comes to it.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
But his crowd control is an E, so he can spam it a lot more. When you constantly have enemies in one place like that and buffing Ayaka at the same time and everything, it just seems like a match made in heaven to me, you know? Because the thing about Venti and his ult, he does absolute wonderful crowd control, but her normal attacks are probably going to be able to hit. Maybe her charge attacks and maybe her ult are going to be able to hit, but her normal attacks aren't really going to be able to hit too much. And then when she sprints and comes out the ground, then she applies the cold status, it's probably not going to be able to hit too much. So everybody stays on the ground with Kazuha, so I think he's going to be a better fit with Ayaka than Venti will be, or might be pretty close, who knows. But yeah, but those are some reasons I kind of want to drop on you guys when it comes to how good of a character Kazuha is when it comes to pairing with Ayaka. Now, these things also count for Yoimiya too, but for Yoimiya, you know, I think Venti might win out when it comes to that one. I definitely think that if you are on the fence, you have the ability to get Kazuha and you want Ayaka, I think that it might be worthwhile to just grab Kazuha at C0. All right, but yeah, I'll leave it there. If you guys like this content, if you guys thought I had some valuable things to say, and definitely like the video, and if you have any thoughts to add, any questions that you might have, definitely comment them down below in the comment section. If you want to see more content like this, any of my other content, or some more Genshin Impact content, definitely subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to get notifications for whenever I post another video. And with that, I'll end the video there. Legend out.